Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a 2023 NFL mock draft. So first off, I'm not predicting any draft day trades. Those are fucking impossible to predict. And we're going to go pick by pick in the first round for all 32 teams. Alright, let's get into it. At number 1, I have the Carolina Panthers taking quarterback Bryce Young of Alabama. I think Young is the best QB in the draft, even though he's undersized. It's similar to when Kyler Murray was coming into the league. No one knew how his size was going to affect his play. But Kyler's been pretty good. Not a lead or anything. He has to fucking lay off the Call of Duty once in a while. But, I think Bryce Young has the potential. I know there's rumors about the Panthers liking CJ Stroud better. However, if I were the Panthers GM, I would take Young. At number 2, the Texans select CJ Stroud, quarterback out of Ohio State. Now, recently it has come out that the Texans want to trade down or not select a QB at all. That's kind of bullshit. I would not put draft neck Davis Mills back out there. He's not a starter in the league. I would take Stroud at 2. Or maybe they just want to continue tanking and get Caleb Williams next year. However, there's no guarantee you'll get the number 1 pick next year. Just look at this year. They were fucking last place all year. Then last game of the season, my man, Lovie Smith, you gotta love him. You gotta love him. He got the Bears the number 1 pick. And, I'm happy because of that. So, yeah, if I were the Texans, I'm taking CJ Stroud at number 2. The number 3 overall pick, I have the Arizona Cardinals drafting Will Anderson Jr., edge rusher out of Alabama. I really like Will Anderson. He's up there with Jalen Carter, definitely as one of the best defenders in this year's draft class. He had 17.5 sacks last year for Alabama in 2021, and he had 10 last year for them. He's going to be a very good player, possibly Defensive Rookie of the Year, okay? I'm calling it. And if the Cardinals take him, he's going to be stud for them. But knowing Arizona, they might ruin him. With the 4th pick, I have the Colts selecting Anthony Richardson, QB out of Florida. He's freakishly athletic, and he's 6'4", which makes him appealing to a QB-hungry team like the Colts. The last 3 years, they've been bringing in these washed guys like Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz to fix things, but it never works out for them. So hopefully Richardson is really good and he doesn't cost, their new head coach, whatever the fuck his name is, his job. At number 5, I have the Seahawks selecting Jalen Carter out of Georgia. Carter could fall a lot further down due to legal issues and character concerns. However, he's still a very good football player, and the Seahawks do need defensive line help. Carter could he could either become the anchor of an elite defense or be run out of town like your previous quarterback. What's his name again? Russell Wilson or something? I don't know. But I can't wait to see what happens. 6th pick in the draft, I have the Detroit Lions grabbing Devon Witherspoon, corner out of Illinois. A lot of mock drafts have Witherspoon going here. One, because the Lions need help on the defensive side of the ball, and 2, because he's arguably the best CB in this year's draft. Also, it could be cool to see Witherspoon reunite with Kirby Joseph, who also played for Illinois. So I think Witherspoon would be good for the Lions. It's kind of crazy though, because the Lions could win the division. They could, but knowing them, they might fuck it up. With the 7th pick in the draft, I have the Las Vegas Raiders taking Will Levis, QB out of Kentucky. Now, Levis is getting some comparisons to Jay Cutler, which it doesn't really give me too much confidence in him, but he could become the next Derek Carr and underperform as a starter for 7 seasons straight, But anyway, Levis could end up being pretty good, but I think he needs to sit behind Jimmy G for a year. Jimmy seems like a good guy to learn from, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt again, because he gets hurt a lot. 8th pick in the 2023 draft, I have Atlanta drafting Tyree Wilson, the edge rusher from Texas Tech. If you were to ask me, the Falcons should go defense. They should. They could draft a wide receiver here, but I think they could get a pretty good receiver in later rounds, and the Falcons need good defensive players. When was the last time the Falcons had a good defense? Just tell me. I think Tyree Wilson would be a good addition to that defense. At number 9, my Chicago Bears pick Peter Skoronski, tackle out of Northwestern. Skoronski is one of the best offensive linemen in this year's draft, and getting Justin Fields protection is important if the Bears want to build a Super Bowl contender. Now, if Jalen Carter was available here, I would draft him because the Bears are desperate for defensive line help, okay? Trust me, okay? They have an XFL unit out there as their defensive line, but if there was a lot of quality offensive linemen available, you take Skoronski, okay? You take him. Nobody else. And, again, they could go defensive line in the second round. With the 10th pick, the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles pick Kalijah Kancey, defensive lineman. Now, Kancey is a bit low, however, with Hargrave going to the 49ers, your defense needs some retooling. They could go corner here if they want to, just to replace C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but if Kancey turns out to be good, him and Jordan Davis will be scary. They're going to be one of the best defensive line units in the league. Ain't nobody getting past those two. Now, with the 11th pick in this year's draft, I have the Tennessee Titans taking Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver, Ohio State. Now, JSN is one of the best receivers in the draft. He played with Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud. And the Titans need receiving help. They got rid of A.J. Brown last year and replaced him with Treylon Burks, who didn't impress too much last year. Guys like Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, who were rookies last year as well, played better than him. Getting JSN will give Tannehill help, even though this is probably his last season in Tennessee. Don't give me shit about Malik Wilson. No, I forgot his name. Malik Willis. He's fucking horrible, okay? Do not put him out on the football field again, okay? Take JSN here. Next year, go get yourself a quarterback. 12th pick in the draft. The Texans, with the Browns pick, they select wide receiver Quentin Johnston. I think picking a receiver here for C.J. Stroud, if you do pick him at number 2, would be a good pick. Johnston recorded 1,069 yards last year for TCU. And no, that's not a joke. He's pretty fast. And the Texans desperately need wide receiver help after Brandon Cooks left for the Cowboys. So yeah, Johnson to the Texans. At the 13th spot in the draft, the Jets select Paris Johnson Jr., tackle out of Ohio State. Securing that O-line for Aaron Rodgers or Milf Hunter, Zach Wilson, or whoever the fuck starts for the Jets next year, I don't know. Securing the O-line will open up the Jets' offense and help them compete for the first time since Mark Sanchez was their quarterback. How sad, guys. How sad. Hopefully, Paris Johnson stays healthy for them, unlike Mekhi Becton. But yeah, I have the Jets selecting Johnson here at number 13. With the 14th pick, I have the Evil Empire taking edge rusher Lucas Van Ness. I'm taking Van Ness here not only because the Patriots could use another edge rusher, not because he recorded 13.5 sacks with his time in Iowa, and not because he's 6'5" and 269 pounds. I'm taking him here because he just sounds like a New England Patriot. Lucas Van Ness was born to be a Patriot. His name screams New England. Bill Belichick will love this guy, no doubt about it. The 15th pick in the draft, here I have the Green Bay Packers, aka the team that constantly owns my team. They select Nelson Smith, linebacker from Georgia. The Packers usually go defense in the first round, almost always, and I know a lot of Packer fans want them to take Smith here if he's available. So the Packers, they also need safety help, so I can see them taking Brian Branch, but I'm going with Nolan Smith. He's a national champion after all. Washington Commanders here at number 16. Let me get this out of the way. Congrats, Commanders fans, on Dan Snyder selling the team. I really feel for you guys, okay? Anyway, here at number 16, the Commanders pick Christian Gonzalez, corner out of Oregon. The Commanders have other needs like quarterback or offensive line. I can see them trading up with a team like the Cardinals to get Richardson or Levis, but we won't know if they will make a trade until draft day. And if Gonzalez is available here at 16, you need to draft him. He will make your defense better. Maybe. We'll see. With the 17th selection in the draft, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers grabbing Joey Porter Jr., the corner out of Penn State. Now, Joey Porter Sr. used to play and coach for the Steelers, so maybe that gives the Steelers a reason to draft Porter at 17. Porter is up there with Devon Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez as the best DBs in this year's draft. And with the Steelers needing some help in the secondary, Porter could provide a lot of value. Also, he sounds like he would play for the Steelers. At number 18, the Detroit Lions take Dalton Kincaid at tight end. Now, this could be considered a reach by some people. However, with DJ Hawkinson gone, getting a good quality tight end in the spot in the draft might not be a bad idea. He had 890 yards and 8 touchdowns last season for Utah, and that could make the Lions offense even better if Kincaid's game translates well from college to the NFL. Or the Lions could go defense here. Either way works, but yeah, Kincaid at number 18. With the 19th pick, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking defensive lineman Brian Bresee. I have the Buccaneers taking an offensive lineman or defensive lineman, but I think Bresee would be good to take here. If you don't take Bresee here, he'll go somewhere in the next 5 picks. And as the Bucs, I would select an offensive lineman in the second round and grab Bresee here at 19, if he's even available. Bresee would make a good addition to the Buccaneers defense. And Bucs fans, I'm sorry to say this, your era of relevancy is over since Brady retired, okay? So good luck. It's going to be a tough go for you guys. The Seattle Seahawks, again, so here at number 20, I have the Seahawks taking Darnell Wright, tackle out of Tennessee. Seahawks went with Jalen Carter at 5 in my mock draft, so here I think the focus should be on the offensive side of the ball. Darnell Wright will definitely give some much-needed help to that Seahawks offensive line. I know they took Charles Cross in the first round last year, however, I think Wright is too good to pass up at number 20. Okay, the 21st pick, I have the Dolphins taking... Wait, hang on. Oh, wow. That sucks for you guys. Alright, now the Chargers with the 21st pick, I have them selecting Deonte Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. Let me just name some of the Chargers defensive players, okay? Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Derwin James. They should be a top 10 defense in the league, and they are not. I know players have been injured, some might not be like they once were, like Khalil Mack, but with all those names and all that money invested, that should translate to a good defense, and it hasn't, So Banks here for the Chargers, I think it would be a good piece to the Chargers secondary, and Banks should be good if the Chargers don't charge her, but the Chargers charge her a lot. With the 22nd pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, I have the Ravens grabbing Myles Murphy, edge rusher. Now, the Ravens could use another wide receiver. However, the Ravens are a defensive-minded team, and a promising edge rusher like Myles Murphy is too good to pass up. Murphy had 17.5 sacks and 5 forced fumbles during his time at Clemson, and I think his 6'5", 275-pound frame will make the Ravens' defense even better. At number 23, the Minnesota Vikings go ahead and take a receiver. I actually have them taking Zay Flowers out of Boston College. The Vikings this offseason released Adam Thielen. Now the Vikings need a number 2 wide receiver to pair along Justin Jefferson. Simply because Jefferson, he can't do everything on his own. And Eagles fan favorite Jalen Reagor is not going to cut it out as a number 2. Zay Flowers to the Vikings seems pretty realistic to me. However, they could go defense. Their defense is fucking atrocious. Almost as bad as the Bears' defense. the Jacksonville Jaguars, aka Duval, aka London's team, aka the third Florida team. Now at 24, I have them taking Brian Blanche, safety out of Alabama. In this mock draft, Blanche kind of slips a bit. However, Blanche going to Jacksonville will strengthen their secondary and take the pressure off Lawrence to put up 30 points per game and 5 touchdowns. I think he's going to be a great player for Jacksonville. Maybe he'll be like a Jalen Ramsey, be remembered as one of the best Jags DBs. You just hope it doesn't end like it did with Ramsey, though. With the 25th overall pick, the New York Giants select Jordan Addison out of USC. Honestly, this pick is a no-brainer. The Giants need to get Daniel Jones receiving help now. Their leading wide receiver last year was Darius Slayton and Richie James. Remember when Kenny Galladay was supposed to be their number one receiver? I wonder what happened there. I don't know. But anyway, the Giants did get Jones some help this offseason by adding Darren Waller, and I think pairing him with Jordan Addison will improve the Giants' offense. Maybe they'll end up winning the division. Fingers crossed. Jerry Jones, Jerry Boy. Here at 26, I have him taking Bijan Robinson, running back out of Texas. Now listen, the Cowboys do have Tony Pollard, but Bijan Robinson seems like a Cowboys pick, okay? Number one, he played at Texas and rushed for 1,580 yards last year. And number two, maybe the Cowboys don't 100% trust Pollard to be the number one running back. I don't know. And we can't ignore the recent hype around his name. Jerry Boy likes the flashy picks. Or maybe they'll draft a receiver, because that's what the Cowboys always do. They always draft some fucking receiver in the first round, okay? But I have Robinson here at 26 for the Cowboys. The 27th pick in this year's draft, I have the Buffalo Bills selecting Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback. The Bills last year were demolished by injuries in the secondary. Completely demolished. If they weren't so injured on the defense, they could have made the Super Bowl, okay? I said it. I don't care if it's controversial. The Bills are a good football team, and injuries ruined them last year, okay? Emmanuel Forbes could add depth to the secondary, so when they're completely destroyed by injuries again next year, okay, they're not 100% screwed. Bills take Forbes at 27. Now, with the 28th selection in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Bengals take cornerback Cam Smith. The Bengals this offseason lost Von Bell to Carolina and Jesse Bates to Atlanta. And with George Pickens and now Odell Beckham Jr. in their division, they should definitely draft a DB. So far into this mock draft, I could say Cam Smith is the best available. They could draft Eli Ricks. I'm kind of flip-flopping between the two, but I think Cam Smith is the better player. With the 29th pick in the draft, the New Orleans Saints taking defensive tackle out of Michigan, Mozzie Smith. The Saints right now don't have any great defensive tackles on their roster. They could draft a receiver if they like a guy like Josh Downs, but I think going defense here would be a better pick. Mozzie Smith has a lot of potential. If he turns out to be good, that Saints defense could be scary, okay? Well, I guess even if he is scary, the Saints will, find a way to blow it in the playoffs. They always do. At the number 30 spot in the draft, the Philadelphia Eagles go with Osiris Torrance, guard out of Florida. The Eagles' offensive line was one of the best last year. However, it wouldn't hurt to add another piece. Right now, the Eagles have Cam Jurgens as their starting right guard. He's okay, I guess. Maybe you'll want to draft Torrance, to plug him in. And maybe you want him to sit for a while, have him as a depth piece. Some people want the Eagles to draft another receiver, but come on, dude. They have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They don't need another receiver. Finally, the last pick in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft. Here, I have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Josh Downs, wide receiver. Here, the Chiefs either go offensive line or receiver, and I think here they pull the trigger on Josh Downs and draft him. Because Juju, he went to the Patriots, and Mahomes can't just throw to Kelsey all the time, even though Kelsey's open a lot. But they could also go offensive line, but I'd probably go O-line in later rounds. and defense as well. But all around, it probably doesn't matter because Mahomes is gonna pull shit out of his ass and win the Super Bowl again. Okay, that's just how it works. Okay, and that is it for my 2023 NFL mock draft. Okay, thank you for watching. I can't wait in a week where my mock draft completely fucking sucks, and I can't wait a year where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I had this guy going at this spot. Most likely, fucking Peter Skolonsky going at number 9 of the Bears, because that's how it fucking works for us Bears fans.